Love is a two-way street.
Okay.
Okay, it's like a two-way street.
Hmm.
You need to give love to get love. Going beyond the four walls of the house was a real scary issue. The study time was the study times. There was no other, TV. Go ahead and go or gossip.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Good Vibes Only show. I know you must be wondering that what is this location? Why are we not shooting at our own location? Well, that's a secret. Today's guest is very special to me. Today's guest is a professional trained Odissi dancer. She's also an economic professor, HOD of the co-curricular activities, and a mom, and so many things. So let's hear her out today and know how she has kept her love for dancing still alive and what has she done over these past few years and how has she found her feet in this big city, Bangalore. We will dive into this conversation to know more about her. Also, let me tell you, she is my sister. So, guys, let's welcome Anindita Chaudhary, who will share her story and enlighten us.
Thank you so much, my dear Shravani. She's a doll to me.
So, how do you feel today?
Oh, alive and ticking.
Are you excited, nervous?
Yes, both. She's been dancing on my head today for this, and yeah, this did make me a little bit nervous, but I am excited too.
Okay, now that we've spoken about you, that you like dancing, you are a trained dancer, you do so many things.
By the way, thank you for speaking so much about me. I'm just a very simple person at heart. Thank you so much.
So now that we know, our audience knows that you are a professional dancer, you teach economics, you also head the co-curricular activities. So how do you manage? I mean, is it too much to handle?
It is too much to handle, but then I feel if you have a love for something, you kind of go ahead and do it. So that is what matters. That is what matters at the end of the day. If you are passionate about one being a dancer, a teacher, everything all together, a full-time mom, of course, not forgetting that, all things roll into one. If you have the passion for everything, you can go for it.
So how does the role of a mother pans out in this hustle bustle? How does that, you know?
Yeah, that's a 24/7 thing, 365 days a year. But yes, I need to say my son is now grown up, so I don't have to run around him like I used to do 10 years back. But yeah, need to keep an eye on him too. That's there. That's always there.
So now that we will dive into this podcast, can you tell us about your childhood? Where did you spend your childhood? And were you always inclined towards dance? How was it like?
Okay, I've been born and brought up in a quaint town of Bhubaneswar. Now it's a tier 2 city, but yeah, at that time it's a very quiet town and known as a city of temples. I was drawn to this dance, of course, from a very early age, maybe 3 or 4 years. But all that I remember was me dancing all through my life. So yes, I've been dancing on my parents' heads, now on my husband's. So it's been a nice journey. And the world of dance actually came to me. Of course, it all goes to my parents, my mother especially, and my Masi. So I call her Mimi. So both of them, they took me to my first teacher, Srimati Rashmi Mishra, in Bhubaneswar, and that's where my journey started. So yeah, it had been my kind of a second skin to me, dancing. So all that I know is I was dancing in school, I was dancing in my college, I was dancing in my university. So I've always been known as a dancer first, and then probably another human being.
So you have danced your way through life.
Yes, I've danced my way through many hearts, if I can say so.
So now that you told me that you've been dancing since you were what, 3 or 4, how did you manage your studies? Were there was there any hindrance, or like how did you manage?
Well, all kudos to my mom. She made sure we had a very disciplined life because we had timings for everything. So the study time was the study time. So there was no other, TV, go ahead and go or gossip or to go for with your friends out or not all those things. But there was time for everything. For dance, there was specific time. For study, there was a specific time. Of course, during my, if I'm not wrong, during my 10th boards and as well the 12th boards, I had to drop out for about a year so that I could concentrate completely on my studies and get it through. Because my mom and my dad both were of the opinion that, of course, you love being a dancer, you want to make a career out of it, well and good, but you should always make sure that you have a backing, a plan B ready as well, so that if you're not able to do anything in the desired space, then probably you can fall back on something. So I think getting this my degree, my post graduation done was all because of this. My plan B was ready.
Right. So, as you said, plan B is very necessary and important. And I think back then, when you started dancing, a lot of people were not aware as dance to be a very suitable career.
Yeah.
So now that you see DID, Dance Plus, and everything, people are so into it, and they are practicing and pursuing dance very professionally.
True.
So, do you think that in today's time, in today's digital era, is it still very necessary to have a plan B?
Of course, of course. I mean, you never know what's in store. You never know what's in future. So you should be ready with your plans. If not plan B, plan C. So I think, as you just said, spoke about the different dance forums that's on television, on the digital media. Of course, that has given wings to the dreams of many people, girls especially, who thought going beyond the four walls of the house was a real scary issue. But I am sure now that they look and see how people are kind of getting that attention, I'm sure they too have given wings to their desire. They too would.
So now that you told us about how girls these days, women especially, have gone out and they are pursuing what they have always wanted to. They're not only confined to the four walls of their house. Was there any point in your life where you thought that I'm a woman, and or say I'm a girl, and maybe this is something that my parents would not allow me to do, for that matter in your case dance? Was there a stereotype
No,
at
no,
home?
no, never, never. I never belonged to a conservative family, no. So it was my parents who put me into dance, and they always looked ahead, were far ahead of their times, I would say. They never saw dance to be something where it's just for entertainment or something like that. They never saw that. And they always have encouraged me. And I would also say, I would also thank my family, my in-laws, my husband, though he doesn't say anything, but at least he doesn't say anything. But yeah, my in-laws have always been supportive of me dancing, so I'm really blessed in that sphere.
Right. So you've always danced, and you've always been very fond of dancing. So do you also teach dance, right?
Yes.
So how does that? How do you take time out and go for dance classes, or say how does that happen?
Yes. So once a learner, you're always a learner. So it's not that I've just got everything that I could know in dance. I do teach dance to the young ones. That keeps me grounded. That keeps me practicing the basics. So I kind of get a practice there. But yes, I'm also pursuing my dance career with my present guru, Srimati Sarita Mishra ji, and I'm part of her troupe as well. So I do get an opportunity to perform along with her at different festivals, reputed festivals. So that's again an honor. And they say that you should always kind of chisel and polish your sword. It
Hmm.
shouldn't lose its shine. So I think once you are into this entire dance thing, it's like an ocean with just a drop of it. Nothing, there's so much to learn, there's so much to go ahead, and you should be open to that. So I would still, even my guru says so, that you have to be a learner of dance. It's not that you are a guru or something. No, that's there's time for that. I feel there's still time for that.
So you don't consider yourself as a guru yet?
No, no, no. Not yet, not yet. I'm still a learner.
So you told us that you perform at
Yes.
various events. So where are these events? I mean, as our audience, how does these events happen? Do you need to join some academy, or how does that pan out?
Yeah, I'm part of the troupe, as I just said. I'm
Mhm.
part of the Adya Shah Foundation,
Mhm.
and we as a troupe, we do go for different festivals, dance festivals. That happens. That's conducted in and around Bangalore, as well as outside Bangalore. So we have gone to a couple of these festivals to perform and reach out to the young ones.
So now that we know that dancing is more than a hobby and you want to keep pursuing and you want to be a learner all through your life,
Yes.
what are your other interests, as in hobbies? What do you want to do, as in what do you prefer to do in your free time?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, how does your me time looks like?
Okay, me time is very important. I am uh, a big time advocate of the me time thing. Like
Why do you say so?
I love myself. That's the first thing. You should love yourself. You want to love others. I think the first and foremost thing starts with you. Everything starts with you. If you've heard, while we are on a flight, what does the air hostess say? You get this oxygen mask. You help yourself first before you help the other person, right? So I think it all starts with you. If you are feeling good, if you are fine, everything else falls into place. So my me time, yes, I do a lot. I do dabble in some amount of art. It's not that great, but yes, I do kind of paint. I write poetry.
Okay, this is something that I would want to
And
know.
it just came. I think the poetry thing started when I love to read books. I just love to read books. If I ever get time, I do sit down and read a page or two. So poetry, yes, that came during the COVID times. To be very true to you, during the COVID, we had lots of time to spend. So I got that knack of writing poetry, reading poetry. So yes, I spend time in doing so. A little bit of cooking, which I'm not that great at, not that great a chef or something like that. But yes, I can manage something.
So, if you don't mind, can you read us what you've written, some
Oh,
poetry?
oh,
We would love to hear what you've
I
written.
hope, I hope it's okay. Let's see.
So, let's hear her out what poetry she has written.
Okay.
So, what do you mostly write about?
Hey, that's again. I'm a love. It's all about love,
Okay.
romanticism, and all those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a romantic bluff.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of movies, also, if you ask me what kind of movies I would love to go and watch, it would always be first would be romantic, and the second would come to be maybe a crime thriller.
Okay.
So that keeps me glued to the television. Okay, here is one which I wrote pretty recently. It says again, this is you asked me about the me time, so here it is. Love thy shadow. So you should fall in love with your shadow. Okay, here it goes. The sunshine has a pleasant way of shining upon thine. Every speck of dust finds its shine. Every drop reaches its pine. Fear not of the shadows they form. Friends for life they are, others unknown. I'm always there for you, someone quipped the other day. Rain or shine, our hearts ever entwined. He travelled light though, only shadows left behind. Fear not of the shadows, they say. Friends they are, others just sway away.
Wow, I mean, can we already give her the Gulzar tag
Ah,
already?
my! That's
I
too
think that
much.
was
Too.
lovely and didn't feel like that
Mm.
you have not written poetry, you're writing it recently, you've been writing
Ah,
about
yeah.
it.
It's just a kind of mincing words. That's it. Nothing else. That's just.
You want to read more
I
because
do. Do I have
yes,
that?
you have that time, we
Okay.
are all ears.
Oh my.
Hmm.
So this is about again.
Love.
Yeah. So all
Hmm.
about love.
Hmm.
So it's Surgeon. When the sparks from the fire are now ready to kiss the dust again, spend a moment by the glaze to think of a bygone comrade. Every inch of time spent, evocated like a cinemascape, every promise made, every pain felt, finally escapes. The eternal wait just turned a new page. Oh dear, the conspiring stars have now become my robe, and the dazzling moon now, oh, so near.
Wow, I mean, this is so lyrical. I mean, I think I've not heard such poetry for quite a long time now.
Thank you. That's too sweet
So,
of you to say so.
so how do you get inspiration to write poetry? As in, do you read love poetries? How is it like?
uh I'm basically no, I won't say that read kind of poetry. I read all sorts of books. It whatever catches my
Mhm.
attention.
No
If
genre specific.
no, not that that I'm just into those kind of genre kind of things, but it just comes. I don't know. It just comes. It just flows.
Right. So now that you've told us that you write about love, you are a very romantic person. If I may ask you, what is your take on love?
Okay, that's a very difficult question. Um, okay, love is a two-way street.
Okay.
Okay, it's like a two-way street.
Hmm.
You need to give love to get love, and it
Hmm.
wouldn't mean uh, it wouldn't mean a physical bonding or such. You can love mentally as well, spiritually as well.
Hmm.
So it need not be someone in life, flesh and blood, right in front of you to fall in love. It can be just anything that you set your minds on.
Okay.
Maybe that's love for me.
Right. Very, I mean, this is a very well interpreted, what do you say, form of love that
Okay.
uh, nowadays, these days, the Gen Z and everybody, all of
Mm-hmm.
us, uh, go into dating. And as you said, it didn't have to be very physical,
Yep.
but very mental, spiritual
Yeah.
bond. That
I think, see, I have no qualms about people getting into dating sites and go
hmm,
ahead dating. But yeah, please, for heaven's sake, don't play with someone's heart.
hmm,
It's a very precious thing. When someone gives the heart to you,
hmm,
make sure, it's giving a part of themselves to you. So I think you should be apt enough to handle it properly. So that
hmm.
should be there. So I think that's what love is. You shouldn't be harsh to someone who has given everything to you. So let's put it that way.
Okay, so now that we've spoken about love, we've spoken about relationships, dating, and everything. So, do you think being financially independent takes a toll on you when it comes to tending to your family, taking time out for yourself? How does that pan out for you? As in, how do you manage time? How do you divide the time?
Yeah, as I said, if you're passionate enough, you'll find the time for everything in this world. I think that is there. We human beings are born with infinite energy. It's like we don't get the time and the energy. I mean, we don't have that what should I say, that urge to really go ahead and get the thing. If you really want it, you will go ahead and do it. So being financially independent is very, very important, because no money, no honey. So I guess, and especially for women, yes, being financially independent is very, very important, because it's not that you can sit back, roll your sleeves, and have a happy life spending with your family and friends. But if you have that good bank balance, you can spend it well. So I think it's very important to be financially independent for yourself, for that me time, for anything. Even if you want to gift someone something, at least you don't have to go ahead and ask someone. You just go ahead and use it. So I think yes, it's very, very, very important.
So you were born in Bhubaneswar, then you stepped out, you got married, and now that you've been working for so long, how did you find your feet in a city like Bangalore, and how difficult is it to, manage and then carve an identity of yourself in the city where everybody is so busy hustling? How was that for you? Was it initially tough? So walk us through your journey.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even I'm hustling. That's it. I'm in my own. See, I'm not competing with anyone here. And Bangalore is such a lovely city. It has opened its arms for everyone.
Yes.
So I think even you are kind of out of your own comfort zone, trying to carve a niche for yourself. So I think there's space for everyone. We're like the stars in the sky. So it's like we're like stars here. So everyone is a star in their own very own field. It has nothing to do with competing with another soul, or competing with another person in this, maybe in the same genre, or in another one. It's like there's space and time for everyone here. All you need to have is that passion and the urge to get that thing done. So yes, I too faced my own highs and lows here in Bangalore, but I think with your good friends and family around, you kind of sail through everything. So yes, I'm still trying to find myself, but that's a search that everyone is into. So I think we are all on our own life journey. That's the beautiful part of it. So we all meet each other, greet each other, but we are still taking our own life's pathway. So that's the best part of life.
So you don't believe in competition as such?
No, I don't think so. There's a competition. Especially in the art field, every artist is a different. I mean, this of course I got it from my dancer friend. We were having a nice chat over a cup of coffee, and then she quipped this, that she heard someone saying that every person is a different kind of a soul, and every soul has a different kind of an energy attached to it. So you cannot compare one energy with the other energy. It's like candles. They are all burning their own
Yeah.
self. I mean, it has nothing to do with how fast the other one burns or how slow the other one. They are lighting up the space. That's it. That's their work, and that's what they are doing. I think we are all lighting up our own spheres in our own very way. So let's do it. Why unnecessarily go into this field? Yeah, she's doing better than me. I should go ahead and do. You lose your track, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You told us that you read books, you read all genres. So what is that one book that you really liked, and why did you like?
I loved reading Taslima Nasreen's Shodh. I don't know. I just hooked to it. So I think I took just a day or two to finish the entire novel. I was hooked to that book. Even the love story by Eric Segal, I love that too. So me being that romantic, I was glued to that too.
Okay, so now tell me, what is that one annoying thing that your son does, and you don't like it? And what is that one thing that you are very proud of him?
Okay, annoying thing. That's what all sons do to their mothers. I mean, ditching the towel here and there and everywhere. I mean, keeping books. But then, yeah, that's their way of doing it. That carefree thing, the teenager thing. I can't help it, but you have to deal with it. But yeah, he annoys me on the phone as well. He sends me about 100 messages at
He
one
sends me
go.
too.
Oh, he does? See, so Ma and Masi all are annoyed. But yeah, and proud of, yeah, I'm proud of his writing skills. I don't know, he's preparing for his 12th, but I mean, he's going to the 12th. So, a lot of stuff that he should be engaged with, basically with his science subjects. He's kind of devoting some part of it towards writing. And he writes novels, which I accidentally hit upon those novels. And I was really amazed um, by the showers of wishes and good wishes that he got on the net. And I was really proud of him at that point.
I
It made me
think
really proud as
that
a mother.
quality also comes from you because you are very fond of
I
writing.
don't know if it does. I'm happy. So, happy. Let's be happy mom.
So now that we know about you, your likes and dislikes, is there any travel destination that you would want to go, or maybe you've been there, you want to go twice, or any destination that you're really fond of?
Oh, there are many places that we've visited as a family and also with friends. Goa being the top of the list. It's been always an exciting place to be there with friends. But yes, if we talk about going abroad, I really wish that I could go to Switzerland someday. I don't know. It's still on the cards, so let's see.
Yes. So, in every podcast, we ask our guests that if you were to manifest something today, what would it be? What is your manifestation, say for 2025 and the
Okay.
future? What do you manifest today?
Okay, I manifest good health and peace, not only for myself, for everyone. I think health is the biggest wealth. So if you're healthy, if you're strong enough, you can go ahead and push all boundaries or push all mountains and go and get your goal. So I think good health and peace for everyone, one and all.
Okay, so now that we know your manifestations, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, am I going for a job interview?
No, I mean, I
guys?
don't mean to sound as an HR, but I mean, where do you see in terms of your dance as a career or say teaching as a profession? Where do you want to go, or is there any roadmap that you've already built? What is it?
Uh, um, not a road map as such. Traveling, yes, I would love to travel. 5 years down the line, I don't know, I'll have more gray hairs, probably, and which I'll try to color it. But jokes apart, still a connoisseur of art and crafts, dance, keep dancing, and of course, roll out as many pass outs in the field of economics as fast as possible. Uh, yeah, touching lives, young hearts. I think that should be doable. Another 5 years, yeah.
So, as a teacher, you've taught so many students, so many children so far. Does that make it easy for you to come home and take care of your family? As in, you deal with a lot of personalities on an everyday basis. So, does that help, or that motherly love or the care that you bring home, is it very inherited or something that you've learned over the years?
I think we women are born with this kind of an energy where we kind of we have the energy to touch and change others' lives. So yes, it can be. If we put it that way, yes, it has come down from my mom. My mom would have got it from my grandmom. So yes, it has passed down the line, down the years. But I don't know how much I do. Uh, I'm able to change the scenario at home. They still see me as a teacher yelling at them when I'm back home. So. No, but I can understand. Probably, as a teacher, you become patient. The patience level goes top notch. So I think, yeah, you become patient in listening to others, hearing them out, and then probably giving your feedback or your teaching.
So patience is the
teachings.
key, right?
Patience is the key. Yes.
Always.
Always. I mean, it's always good to be a good listener 1st, and then you can probably become a better speaker.
Okay, now that we've almost reached to the end of our podcast,
Oh gosh!
we have another round, which is the
Oh.
rapid fire round.
Oh my god! I never knew this.
Where I will ask you some questions and you have to pick at least 3 out of the choices that I give you. If you manage to answer 3 or you manage to choose 3 out of all the boxes, you get a hamper.
Oh my god! This gives me coffee with current feels. Oh my! Yeah, I'm ready. All set.
Okay, so let's start with
Keep it easy.
are you a mountain person or a beach person, and
Beach,
why?
beach. I love the beaches. I just love water. Mountain, I do visit mountains. My husband is more of a mountain guy. I end up puking up and down the way. So that's the only thing.
You feel a little dizzy?
I do.
So
not
you're
that
very
kind of-
fond of beaches. Otherwise.
I just love the beaches.
So like the ocean,
Yes,
sea.
the sun, the sea, and the sand. That's it.
Okay, so would you rather, if given a choice, would you rather dance your way out or write poetry?
Depends on the age. As of now, yeah, I'll dance the way around. But I'll write poetry as well. So that
You have to choose one.
I have to choose one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Otherwise, you lose the hampers. So
Oh yeah. So I'll dance my way.
sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope to.
And I know as Bengalis, we are always thinking about food, right? We are sitting for breakfast, we think for lunch, dinner, so it just goes on, right?
Yes.
The loop goes on. So, would you rather pick Kolkata chicken biryani for lunch or kochuri aloo dum torkari for breakfast?
No, I would go for the chicken biryani thing. I'm a biryani person. Yeah.
So, which is your favorite biryani spot in Bangalore?
Okay. We have it from Paradise Biryani, but I think there is one Bengali outlet here which serves the yummiest biryanis, and that's Hiyar Maje. So I love the biryanis. I just love
Proper Kolkata
the
style.
proper Kolkata style with the aloo in
Aloo.
between. Yes.
Okay, so
Can I peep into questions?
No.
Oh gosh.
So given a choice, would you rather go on a date with your husband for a romantic movie or a crime thriller movie?
Go on a date with my husband. Why with only the husband? Why can't it with
Just
someone
keeping
else?
it safe.
Oh, do I need to keep it safe? Okay, fine. Me being a romantic person that I am, I would always go for a romantic movie, but I might change the guy in question.
You never know.
Jokes, just jokes.
Okay, so jokes apart, now that you've mentioned that you're very fond of beaches and Goa is your top destination that you're very fond of, so would you rather go for a vacation to Goa or Puri?
Puri, by all means, of course. I want to visit Lord Jagannath. That's where I am from. Hands down.
No
Puri,
second
Puri.
choice.
No second
second
choice.
thoughts.
No. Goa is nowhere near to Puri.
Why do you say so?
No,
Because
that's because that's Puri has a different kind of a feel, man.
Hmm,
It's so close to my heart. I'm from Bhubaneswar. I'm from the city of temples.
right.
I'm from the
So
place
Puri
in North.
always stops the
Yes,
place.
yes, yes.
Okay, so now I know that you're very hardworking. You don't get that amount of time to have your me time.
Mhm.
But supposedly you are on a holiday. Would you rather chill at home on weekends or dance your way out on weekends?
Okay, depends.
You lose the hamper.
Oh my, that's a tricky question then. Now, yeah, everyone needs, even a dancer needs a rest day, isn't it?
Hmm.
So, yeah, sometimes, can it be sometimes?
No, there's no
Oh,
sometimes. It is either or.
either or, okay, fine.
Hmm.
Then on a weekend, I would probably
Hmm.
be the lad kawa fellow that we say in Bengali,
Hmm.
one who does nothing and
Ladkhor is
just
basically very lazy. One
very
would
lazy, one who doesn't
do
even
anything.
move an inch. So sometimes, yes, I also become that lad kawa
Hmm.
girl or guy kind of a thing. I
Hmm.
would take a break and
Just chill.
yes, chill and get in. I mean, again, retwine myself and get ready for the next performance.
Oh, okay, nice, nice, nice.
So, do I win the hamper? Are we done?
We no, we are not
Oh
done yet.
my!
So this is the last question.
Oh, thankfully.
So would you rather choose a plate full of puchka or Lord Jagannath's prasad, which is the obhoda?
Oh my god, that's just too much. She knows me because Fuchka is my favorite too, and of course there is no second thoughts on the Obhora thing.
Hmm.
I will go for Obhora any time of the day, any time of the year. It's always that.
Can you
Lord
brief us
Jagannath.
about what is obhoda basically? Because
It's the Lord's
Hmm.
prasadam that is served at the Lord Jagannath
Hmm.
temple, which has an array of dishes starting with rice and dal and all those curries.
Hmm.
And
Served on the
yes,
banana leaf.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's yum. It's yum.
Nothing matches to the
Nothing comes closer to that. Not even biryani, I would say. Oh, that's a different genre. No, I won't do that. I mean, Lord Jagannath's prasadam is the most beautiful thing in this world.
Hmm.
And if you would ask me before I die, what if my one wish would have be? It would be visiting Puri and having that obhora, and then I can die peacefully.
Oh, lovely. So, yes, now that you've answered almost all the questions,
I've answered all the questions.
yeah, I mean, you've made your choices very
Yes.
loud and clear.
Yes.
You do get the hamper.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
she
you.
has been the pickiest of the picky. That's how we call it. So, yes, we've almost reached the end of the podcast. And I think probably this is your first podcast. And
Yes, and she made me do it.
yeah, so how do you feel? I mean, after all this you've shared with us, how does your heart feel a little lighter?
Yes, it does. It does. It was a nice, peppy chat with my sis. She's a lovely girl and hardworking too. So may you go places, dear.
Yes.
So yeah, I enjoyed this time on camera while we have this kind of
Yeah. So
process.
I deliberately wanted to do it because I think a lot of people need to know that you juggle a lot of things together, right? And a lot of people either are very hardworking, are hustling all the day, but don't spend that much amount of time at home. And I think you are the true example of how things need to be outside your home, work and everything, and how things need to be done at home, right? I think we've managed to get all the answers, and yes, it was a lovely conversation. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and I shall get back to you in the next episode of the Good Vibes Only show. Till then, keep supporting. I shall see you in the next episode.